Here's some various fruits that were painted in the 1650s. You may notice that watermelon does not look like what a normal watermelon looks like today. Or you ever wonder why a tomato can look so red and juicy, but then really have no flavor at all?
And that's because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of varieties of your most well-known fruits. And it's some people's jobs to grow, experiment, and research to find the best version of these fruits for mass consumption. And that is where we're going today. In our last video, we drove the bus all the way to Northern California to the Redwoods, and along the journey stopped in a place called Watsonville, California.
We're really not just a farm, but we're a research institute. Figure out how to commercialize new vegetables or fruits that haven't been done that way so far.
This is David Bloom, and we are here today on his 14 acres at Whiskey Hill Farm Science and Convention Center.
So we try to grow the interesting, unusual stuff that really tastes good.
So for like a lot of the plants that are a bit more obscure in there, like do you go travel to the other side of the world to find those and bring them back? That's
you
cool.
just pick these. Is there some kind of special mint?
Black mint, yeah.
Black mint?
No way.
1,000 different kinds of mint, actually, in the world.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It's not overpowering, you know?
No,
It's
yeah.
Now, this is an interesting plant, you know? Why don't you come over and take a sniff? It has a great, great aroma.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's not what I was expecting.
And if you touch it, you'll see it's really sticky. Now, this plant, and you can smell it on your fingers, it's quite fragrant.
Wow.
And it's just such a wonderful plant, but it's a plant that's caused more misery than any other plant on the planet because this is tobacco. Tobacco is full of nicotine, which is so poisonous. When they dry the tobacco before they make it into cigarettes, well, the drying process destroys like 99% of the nicotine. But that last little bit, oh, it's such a horrible neurotoxin, but you get hooked on it. And so, you know, this is one plant that has been getting back at humans for a long time.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, wow, look at this right behind you here. This is a plant that comes from 7,000 feet in the Andes Mountains in South America. As far as we know, we're the only place in the United States that grows them and sells them as fruit. Well, anyway, we grow all kind of wild stuff here. Let's go look at some of the wild stuff in the jungle.
The jungle.
Now that we walked in here, there's a couple of things that are really quite different. One, it has a jungle odor. I've had.
Stick it in.
We have 40 different varieties of this, learning which ones are the best. And then we can go ahead and commercialize the fruit so it can be sold in the US. So all around the world right now, there's a disease taking down this kind of banana. So we're going to see a little later a different kind of banana, which is likely to be the one that replaces this one, because eventually the bananas we buy now won't be commercially available.
Interesting.
So let's go this way.
It's a sad day for you. You like bananas.
Here we're looking at baby bananas. Under the petal of the flower, you'll see more baby bananas.
That's so cool.
This flower is pretty wild looking, you know, with all its little babies.
Picture for a banana.
No, you know, the baby coconut tree.
Oh my gosh, no way.
So this plant here is called the lula, and it makes really, really super tasty fruit. But go ahead and put a hand right over the top of this and you'll feel little spines.
Oh yeah.
Now these spines are full of an acid that if you really get poked, it'll make all kind of welts on your skin. You know, you might be tempted when you're out in the jungle one day and, well, you're far from a restroom and you need to take a dump. Well, don't use these leaves for toilet paper. It's a really bad idea.
That's funny.
Another new baby banana. Now these here, go ahead and tear that and smell it. A common herb used in some parts of the Amazon.
Oh, interesting.
And it's kind of like basil. It has all these flavors in it. You can wrap food up in it.
Is that one of those things they wrap the fish in when we ate it in Peru?
That's right. Dave and I were down along the Amazon in Peru, and that's where this plant comes
That's
from.
so cool.
When we were in the Amazon, they fed us this fish, and they wrapped leaves like this around it and put it over a fire.
Oh, wow.
And it was the tastiest fish I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
This is a Namwa banana. It's the variety that people are thinking will replace the the Cavendish, which is the common banana in supermarkets right now, and it doesn't get affected by the disease. Look for these eventually in the supermarket.
What are some of the differences with those between the other ones?
Oh, the flavor is so much better with this one. There are actually quite a few kinds of bananas, but they haven't been popular yet. Some are bright red and all kind of colors and different flavors. These have a lot of flavors.
Just not as big, so they don't produce.
How's that leaf tasting now?
Leaf went in my lungs.
When do you expect those bananas to be in stores? Like,
Oh, it's starting to happen in some of the high-end stores. Some exotic bananas are being imported now. So what we're doing here, this is a big grinder. When we get the fish in, it's a waste product. When they catch, mackerel or, salmon or whatever, they also catch a lot of other fish that there's nothing you can do with. We get that from the fish processors. We push it into the hopper there.
You never smell it.
We saw these sardines. We had a ton of sardines.
So we're taking what was waste and we're putting it back on the land to make new crops that feed people. And then they poop it out. It goes down through the sewage system out into the ocean where it goes ahead and feeds plants. Fish eat the plants and they come back here. It's all a big cycle. So this is our alcohol distillery here. And I'm involved in alcohol for things other than drinking. But most of us don't know that cars originally ran on alcohol. This is a stove that runs on alcohol, and I go ahead and start pouring alcohol in it, and I pour a little in, and I keep pouring some more in. There it goes. You can put your hand over and you can see it's hot, but you can't hardly see the flame. And in the other one, we're gonna burn a little gasoline. That's the alcohol. Very, very clean. When you put your hand over it, it's quite hot, Now I like gasoline. You'll notice lots of black smoke coming off of this. This is a waste of energy. It's turning into stuff that isn't work. And I really hate waste in a really very strong way. Yeah, so let's go on.
Want that to burn?
No, I don't.
This is like library. You can grow millions of dollars worth of different fruits and then become the person selling them around the country.
The other thing about growing them here is that they can be organic. When fruit comes into the U.S. in a big, 40-foot shipping container, because everybody is so afraid of bringing new bugs into the U.S., is they gas the container with a horrible toxic chemical to kill all the bugs.
And then we also do find out that certain plants, tropical plants, can get used to this climate.
Interesting.
So, for example, this is acerola cherry. They have a plant over there, peanut butter plant, that produces fruits that taste like peanut butter.
You want to see it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is peanut butter.
Find the peanut butter.
oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I'll bring the jelly.
There you go.
It's a miracle that a plant like this can survive here. Plants is a fruit that all women go bonkers for. It's called Wampi. It's a citrus relative, but it's more tropical. And it tastes like combination of citrus, like mandarin and lychee. Really very sophisticated, like really nice flavor. This is a jelly pound. The fruits taste like pina colada. This variety doesn't taste good. It tastes like gasoline. But we found we have one variety that tastes really good. That's the other end of the jungle.
What's this?
Not Hoya Sancta. It's the other thing that Latinos use for a spice.
Smell that. They need to put this in a bottle and
Okay, oh, perfume.
what does it taste like?
It's not this. It looks different.
Tastes like a leaf.
It's kind of bitter. The aftertaste is bitter.
It
But
smells-
it's probably medicinal. I mean,
smells
sometimes
so
the
good.
stuff that's bitter is really great for
Right?
you.
Yeah.
So these big leaves are the same you just tasted.
Then this spiky thing is sunberry, super delicious fruit, and we're the first ones to fruit them in America. They were only discovered in 2008 in Brazil, and there were still questions whether they're edible, and they make this amazing juice.
let's do it.
Gave glowing review to this fruit.
That's the weirdest
That one
consistency.
I like.
What's it taste like?
Oh, we'll see.
I'm nervous.
Oh, man, God. Just kidding.
I don't imagine.
Tastes
Oh, they're
great.
like sour.
Yeah. A lot of vitamin C.
Oh, and they're not hallucinogenic either.
They're not hallucinogenic?
A little sour, but I like sour stuff.
African sorrel, very tasty when it's used in like shrimp dishes.
I'm a taste tester.
It's sour. So yeah, sorrel, it's sour.
Do you just taste the leaf?
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
It's a nice like little zing.
Whoa! It hits you out of nowhere.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it's like, whoop.
Try this one too.
The plant will have thousands of leaves, but just a few fruit. So from a farmer's point of view, growing leaves is where it's at. These are cattails. This plant makes a lot of starch. We get 2,500 100 gallons of alcohol per acre. Corn only gives us about 250 gallons of alcohol per acre. This is a world record holder. This could be super important in developing countries because it's good plant protein. But look up. See those red solar panels? I need your help. What color is it that you see here?
Green.
It's green. You know, there's no such thing as greenness. In other words, that plant is throwing away that color. So we can see it because it reflects out. So the yellow and blue are thrown away because it stresses plants out. So we can see these plants as green because they are throwing away yellow and blue. These solar panels up here are really good at taking a lot of the yellow and blue, but we take all the energy that these plants are throwing away, we grab it in those panels, make it into electricity. Yeah, so these panels are allowing crops to grow underneath while they make electricity. We can pull off a cucumber. Not your average cucumber, a high-end cucumber that you can buy in the stores. Take a bite.
I love cucumbers.
Nothing like that right from the
Delicious.
plant.
Yes, there you
Delicious.
go. Well, this plant I'm standing next to is called turmeric. Really good for your health. But as a farmer, we grow this crop because it's a lot better than growing carrots. Carrots, you get 75 cents a pound. And turmeric, well, we get $8.50 a pound wholesale. So if we're going to grow 40,000 pounds of roots per acre, we'd rather that be turmeric than carrots, you know? So what we're looking at here is an example of agriculture that's been around for over 2,000 years in Mexico, something called a chinampas. This is a passion fruit, and Dave, you got a knife there?
Oh, just kidding.
Squeeze that into your mouth and tell us what it tastes like.
Oh my gosh. It's delicious.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, taste that.
Looks gross,
Wow.
It's so good.
but oh yeah.
This system, which is over 2,000 years old, produces more food per square foot than any other form of agriculture on the planet.
Those like loofahs down there?
Those are loofahs. Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
Here's your sponge.
I know.
Here's your natural sponge you take in the shower.
They're like delicious.
When this loofah is growing and it's really young, none of this fiber is in it, and you can eat it just like it's a really big cucumber.
Really?
It's related to cucumbers.
This belongs in a bus.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, oops, all the seeds are falling out.
Oh, I felt
Oh,
Wow.
Look at that.
How do we deal with bugs? You know, we're organic, so we don't spray any poison. And in our case, we don't even use any organic pesticides, right? Well, I got to tell you, when I first moved into this greenhouse here, it was loaded with bugs. So what I thought, you know, I don't look at things as bad or good. I was thinking, well, I have a surplus of bugs. And I came up with a bright idea. Bling, put a light bulb up here. And as far as that light would shine out the doors of the greenhouse, I was attracting more bugs. In the winter is when we have frogs, Pacific tree frogs. They'd lay all the eggs in here, and then there were little baby frogs, you know, little tadpoles and frogs. And then all at once, on one day, they line up at the edges, and it's like someone fired a starting pistol. They all jump at the same time. Really? Each frog eats 167 bugs a night. We know how many bugs there are because grad students have stayed up late at night counting how many bugs the frogs ate. Yeah. You know, and then they get their PhD for that. So, I mean, if you look at these plants, do you see any holes in them? I'll hold up a $100 bill and I'll say, all right, you got 1 minute. If you can find a leaf with a bug hole in it, you get this $100 bill.
No holes.
That is a pepino melon.
Pepino. That's so funny. Say it again.
Pepino, which is cucumber. Melon.
I like
is
melon. Learn all new words.
Cool. If you throw them in a bowl with some apples, they ripen up really fast because apples give off a gas called ethylene, which ripens fruit. Yeah, chew on the stem.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I can
Is
smell
it lemongrass?
It is. Good guess.
Look at her.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Now, so this is an interesting plant, and only a teensy bit illegal in other places. Santa Cruz County, you're actually allowed to have several plant medicines that are illegal other places, like peyote, ayahuasca, and of course psilocybin mushrooms. It grows usually in deserts. So peyote is used in religious ceremonies. It's technically a hallucinogen. But what science has found is if you eat very small bits of this every day, it totally gets rid of depression. Better than any antidepressant, it will completely relieve those feelings. And now science is really doing all the research to back up what shamans have always known.
What happens if you take it in high doses?
You hallucinate like a big dog.
You got that, Dave? Don't get any ideas out here.
What am I about to do?
Eat it.
Big
You
chunk?
want to get a rush.
Okay, here you
right.
go. No, more than that.
More than that?
Science, as you chew it, two different substances in the leaf combine, and all of a sudden,
Interesting.
you get a rush.
Wow. Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Here it goes.
Chew a bunch of it.
Bunch of it?
Yeah. And all of a sudden, right about now, it starts to come on.
That was weird. You're right. I was like, I don't taste anything. I'm going to taste another bite. And there it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like wasabi that you get at the Japanese restaurants. It's really horseradish.
Yeah.
But when you eat this and you get that little rush, I notice I feel like my heart's open. It's like,
Yeah.
Do I swallow it?
Yeah. No, it's
Wow.
good.
I feel like I'm at a sushi restaurant.
So, yeah, this is the root of wasabi, and this took 3 years to get to this size. So it's a slow-growing crop because, you can't tie up your ground that long without making money. But this is most of the way to being a pound. I can charge $190 for this retail because it's such an incredible and powerful flavor. This plant is about to become extremely popular because when they took powder made from this, they gave it to people from 60 to 80 years old. And at the end of that time, the scientists were shocked at how much improvement in short-term, long-term, and working memory. If you're looking to live a long time or you want to have better quality of life when you're older, this might be the key. Our lifespan has increased and increased and increased in a fairly short period of time, maybe the last 100 years. Before that, people lived to be about 40 years old and different parts would wear out, like your teeth, and then you couldn't eat anymore or whatever. So now with civilization, we've learned how to do things like keep our teeth and all that, and medicines to keep our heart going or whatever we need. We've been pretty good, but the one thing we haven't tried to do is see if we can keep brains working for 60, 70, 80, 90 years. We're just now entering a period where we're trying to figure out how to do that, and this might be the key. If you guys want to go to a Japanese restaurant tonight, we can take our wasabi with us.
There you go.
Dave and I sometimes go to a Japanese restaurant, and we'll go there with our wasabi grater. We'll go over to people's tables.
Oh, really?
Regenerative agriculture, which I've been practicing for over 40 years, and compared to sustainable agriculture. When is everybody going to fix all the stuff they screwed up? How are we going to make it better? So that's what regenerative agriculture. With every crop, we improve the soil.
Welcome back to another coffee time with Time.
All right, we are here at
Lido's
Cafe.
Drinks were on them today. Their menu was spectacular. It is now fall. I'm ready. I'm stepping in bold, and I'm ready for pumpkin and all things cinnamony and yumminess. So today was a cinnamon vanilla latte with a pumpkin cream cold foam on the top. You guys know that I don't do dairy, so I did ask if they could do it with oat milk. She said that it kind of just sunk in, but she did her best. The flavor's still in here, so I'm so excited for it. So let's give her a mix and then give it a try. Cheers. Lido's. Guys, the fall flavors. That was the sound I made when I drank this. This is good. I'm not getting a ton of pumpkin, but really creamy, very flavorful, a lot of cinnamon going on. This is pretty top notch. 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. Delicious. See you next time.
That's the cheapest Japanese dinner I've ever had.